Devil May Cry.
Welcome guys to another video from the Council of Trolls, and Yoshi here to give you guys a quick review of Devil May Cry 5, the newest iteration from Hideaki Itsuno and Team Capcom's hack and slash action franchise. Let's jump right into it. So I'm going to talk about graphics first. Capcom's RE engine, or Reach for the Moon engine, has been blowing me away this current generation in terms of graphic fidelity and performance. You know, to have character models and environments looking photo-realistic or hyper-realistic, whatever you want to call it, along with 60 frames per second, is actually a technical feat to behold, especially how over the top Devil May Cry is. It holds up very nicely. All the characters in this game have very detailed facial expressions, skin shading, physics, and animations that personally, it sometimes feels like it's reaching that uncanny valley level, you know? Environments have nice texture quality, great lighting and shading. There's also little details like how Nero or Dante's coattails sway when moving or doing certain animations. There's heat coming out of the barrels of their guns after they shoot. You know, there's a lot of particle effects that look great filling the screen while you're in battle. It's all great stuff. It may not be the best engine out there, but definitely better than some. But let's move on to the story. Devil May Cry 5 tells a tale of Nero, Dante, and new character V as they are tasked to stop the new Demon King Risen from taking over the city of Redgrave. At least I believe that's what it's called, and potentially the world. When the game starts, it puts you smack dab in the middle of a fight that you're supposed to lose, and then sends you back a month or two showing you the events from each protagonist's perspective, and moves forward while telling the circumstances of Risen's rise to power. It does progress at a nice pace, and it doesn't really slow down. V is introduced pretty early in the game, and I was really suspicious of his character and his motives. Like, the thought of finding out how V fits into this world, his relationship to the characters, why he had motivations to stop Risen, and DMC 5's plot had me hooked. Some questions I've had about Devil May Cry and his characters do get answered. So by the time I finished this 10 to 12 hour campaign, I had some satisfying answers and some new questions. All I can do now is hope for Capcom to make a Sparta game and, you know, answer some of the backstory. That'd be great. Devil May Cry 5's combat is so damn amazing that, like, this in my opinion has raised the bar in terms of combat that games of the genre can do. Devil May Cry has always been great with its combat, but there are so many tools at your disposal that it's almost like a fighting game. The quality lies within its depth, variety, and freedom. It's as good as you, the player, wants it to be. Seeing which moves tie in with what, and hey, this works with this, or maybe I can perform this move and follow up with this. Despite how many tutorial menus pop up on screen as you play with each character, it is overall a simple combat system but hard to master, especially for those who want the killer style. With Nero, you have a sword Red Queen, gun Blue Rose, and a nice arsenal of Devil Breakers to play with that vary up his combat. Devil Breakers are the mechanical arms that he uses to perform unique abilities depending on which one he uses. You know, two examples I can give are like Gerbera. When used, it's like a shockwave type. It pushes enemies back and shoots a huge beam when charged. There's Rawhide, a whip-like arm that hits enemies with a flurry of attacks, and when charged can grapple enemies and throw them around. There are many others, but I won't give them all away. So Dante is the most familiar, especially for those who have played the third or fourth game. He's back with his 4 trademark styles: Trickster, Swordmaster, Royal Guard, and Gunslinger. This time around though, he has 4 melee weapons, 3 that feel very familiar and 1 new one, and 4 ranged weapons that he can switch between all in real time, which is very difficult to do in gameplay. Like I said in my impressions video, he is the hardest character to master because all these weapons add new layers and depth to his combat. Let's not also forget that he has the most vast moveset out of all 3 protagonists. He also has his Devil Trigger and new Devil mode, Sin Devil Trigger. V's fighting style is new, and unlike anything in the franchise, he's an indirect fighter. He controls 3 familiars: Shadow, a panther that morphs into various shapes and blades; Griffin, a demon from the first game, is a bird that shoots enemies electric base attacks. And then there's Nightmare, a hulking giant that tears through enemies with laser beams and brute strength. It can only be summoned using double trigger though, but it's great seeing it smash down like a meteor, burst through walls, or from underground. None of them can actually kill enemies though. V is the only one that can, so he must be close and use his cane to finish demons off when the health is depleted. V is difficult to get used to at first, but after unlocking some moves for Shadow and Griffin, his combat becomes fun, a little more accessible, and I do welcome this addition to Devil May Cry. Missions in Devil May Cry 5 are at its core designed like its previous iterations, go from point A to point B, with a little bit of exploration here and there, some secrets to find. But the level design does get kind of samey, and what I mean by that is that after a while you see the same ruined buildings and cities, and the same hellish designs and landscapes of the underworld as you go from mission to mission. So sometimes you may get confused where to go, especially when you get to hell, or the underworld, whatever you want to call it. There are microtransactions in the game, but they aren't really intrusive. You earn enough orbs as you play the game normally. I will say though that there's a certain move that costs 3 million orbs per character. So that may tempt some players to buy red orbs if they don't want to grind. When you die in a mission, you can either use red orbs or gold orbs to revive yourself. Personally, I never had to use red orbs because the game gives you enough gold orbs if you explore, find little hidden secrets. And for simply logging in Devil May Cry, it's like a login bonus. I know Devil May Cry is known, has some notoriety of being difficult, but this one seems a lot more forgiving. On normal difficulty, it gives you enough of a challenge to learn the character mechanics and the right amount of enemies and enemy types to make it through to the end. After you beat it, you can go straight into New Game Plus on the harder difficulties where the real challenge lies. All in all, Devil May Cry 5 has all the over-top action, story, and combat that the fans of the genre will love to return to. My personal favorite Devil May Cry will always be DMC 3, but in terms of combat mechanics and gameplay overall, DMC 5 takes the crown. This is the best Devil May Cry to date, and I give this game a 9 out of 10. And that wraps it up for this review. Thanks for watching that video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Just like the video if you want. All forms are welcome here. So we'll see you guys next time on the Council of Trolls. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay.